been swallowed by withered roads, and the feathers and howls they still roam out like the trinkets of playful gods. Sharp red eyes follow trusted guise of a path through spike trees high. Smoke rise in a thick black sky, signal house and warmth are nigh. And with flicks and sticks lands a small black thing on a carpet of deadly white. And a golden stare still looks home to where. Good sir, see I have returned. May I sit by your side on this night? A smiling face gives the ghost her place, looming small by his tall built frame. No more stories to hear, he asks bright and clear, while his eyes kiss the lights of the flames. Stories here, stories there, stories fill the air, yet you freeze by this door still, my dear. I may be taken by death, yet my path's not set on a fixed place like you choose to be. No one comes, no one leaves, distant memories have been swallowed by withered roads. But my place lingers evermore on the guard which I have been bestowed. Silently they sit, drink, and keep the comfort of shared spent time. All my tales will be yours, she says, stern and hoarse, to share on a next bright night. Shall we drink to that day, to that one fine day, where your voice will be heard far and wide, and this frozen door will no longer hold its claws in your heart and your mind? Shall we toast to that day, to that one fine day, where the roads will be glistening in light?
Hello everybody, and I am in this mode right now, for I need to mess with some things before we get into zoomed in mode. Yeah, because I didn't set this up properly yet. I be an idiot. See, it's too big. It's too big. Gotta size it down. Moran, we don't need all that girth with your fucking 7 inches well soft. There you go. Now that's better. Scroll that up, and we're good to go. And no, wow, I just realized I never played music. That was awkward silence. Ha! Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Is this our last stream, boss? No, it's not. Unless, well, no, even if we come to the end of it. Even if we get to the point that I want to, where they actually finish the Underworld arc, we'd still have like another stream. It's very close, though. We've got like 1 or 2 more, which is why I couldn't skip this one today. There was... like, I'm not feeling great, so we'll probably only read like 1 chapter, maybe 2. We definitely won't be doing 3. But yeah, I figured we had to do some today because I have no idea how long this is going to go on. And I really want to get to the end of this arc. I hope the arc isn't too long. Could be horny instead, you don't know. That's true. Some people's favorite chapters are horny. Most of the time, it's pain. It's pain and sadness. Hello, Devil Queen, for the first time ever joining us in chat. Welcome to the House of Copper Hounds, and it's lovely to have you here. Believe 666, I just finished a watch party of Vox Machina. Ah, the Legends of Vox Machina was so good. Yeah, I just finished season 1 last night. Really good, really good. The Briarwoods arc was great. It was well adapted. It made Keyleth kind of OP. I wonder if they're going to put in season 2 her Golden Gods moment. That'd be really funny. I watch them as they come out 3 episodes by 3 episodes. What do you mean pain? Looks away. Anyway. Oh, good. So it will be pain today. That's awesome. Is your weather still as wild as you posted on Twitter? No, thank you. Thank you. No, thankfully. That actually only lasted for like 45 minutes. We only got like 2, maybe 3 centimeters of snow. Because, yeah, it was coming down hard, but it didn't last very long. Which is good, because I had to go over and do my taxes today. Will the rest of the streams be uploaded to YouTube before you leave? I'm going to try to get the ones that I've already done uploaded tomorrow. Like all of them, including this one. I'm going to try to throw them all up. But they'll only be there for like 3 or 4 days. I think it's either Monday or Tuesday that they're disappearing. Oh no. But yeah, weather's okay. Not the last stream just yet. Ginhale, thank you so much for subscribing. Certainly take a break if you're not feeling well. It's not so much that, it's more. I'm going to be disappearing forever. Well, for at least 2 years. Icky Guy Vex, thank you so much for subscribing as well. Hey everyone. Thank you both. Welcome to the House of Copper Hounds. It's lovely to have you both here. And I will throw out Buzidao. Because even though this is somebody's favorite chapter, I don't know if that means pain, horny, sad. It could be anything. It's definitely got to be interesting though. Very emotional. Currently in Prez before going to a club, but gotta prioritize this. Thank you for joining us. The latest Bing. Oh, I've heard that that's gotten really good. Meat Bun's new novel. It's going hard. Yeah, I've seen some of the fan art that's been coming out of it. Like, it's built up a real big fan base now with how much fan art is just coming out every new chapter that comes out. I was waiting for this to happen. Yeah, I've seen the one of him, like, staring into a mirror, which, yeah. Looks like the Copper Cove must send good health. Oh, did you mean Copper Coven? First time live here. I'm always listening to your streams while cleaning. Yo, Nivixel, welcome to the House of Copper Hounds. It's lovely to have you here for the first time live. And I hope you enjoy this read-through. Today's stream, the last one. No, Sanka, not yet. We're very close. We're very close. I'm hoping that I can stream tomorrow as well, and hopefully a longer stream tomorrow. Today's not going to be too long. When we dive into this, it's got to be a lot of reading and not a lot of chat interacting, because I want to get through I want to get through 2 chapters. If I can only do 1 chapter, that's fine. I haven't had a break all day. Today I woke up, I walked my dog, I had to drive through a fucking blizzard to get my taxes done. I came home and I've been working at my computer till now. And I was like, no, we can't miss today. I need to finish the Underworld arc. So, we're doing what we can. Supposed to be studying for my exam, but I'm not known for my priorities. That's fair. Long time since I have been able to join you. What's up? Yeah, it's lovely to have you here again. I hope you're having a good day. The person who follows me every stream and therefore must unfollow me at the end of every stream. I see you. You're driving me insane. I don't know why you're doing this and it's fucking with my brain. But I see you and I'm not reading out your name because that's cheating. Red Panda J09, thank you so much for resubscribing. And Stoffel, thank you so much for the 200 merits. Yo, you subscribed for the 3rd month in a row. I didn't even say that on top. Welcome back to the House of the Copper Hounds for the 3rd month in a row. And Stoffel, thank you for the cute, adorable corgos. Oh, the glass exploded. I didn't realize the glass has exploded. This is fine. Can't hear what's being said, but I look forward to listening to the stream tomorrow. Was the music too loud or was it something else? You never read my name. I've been here for 3 weeks. What's up, Incense Stick 23? I can't read everyone's name. I try to say hey to people. I try to read every subscription when people first follow. Sorry if I missed that. Got a new icon. Oh yeah, you got the Silver Copper Hound logo now. Awesome. Ghost Chain Scatterer. Just saying I'll keep sending cliff notes. Hell yeah. Thank you. I haven't read the newest one yet. No problem. And I can see you are a Copper Hound, so I'm sorry if I did miss your subscription. It may have been if you subscribe when I'm not live. I don't read the ones that come in when I'm not live, so I'm sorry about that. But welcome to the House of Copper Hounds then. Thank you so much for joining us. And for all of our new Copper Hounds members, we are going to throw out the Swan Brothers emote. Because this should get very gay very quickly. Our boy Moran is trying to save his love from the underworld. People apparently know what's going on with Shizun's soul. Like, people seem to have recognized Shizun's soul and are specifically, like, telling each other not to speak about it. So, this is going to be very interesting. Blizzard, the only time you have to go into the town. Literally the only time I had to go into town this week. I'm not finished with the last stream, so I can't stay for this one. That's cool, Nivixel. We'll catch you next time. Have a lovely day. Every time I hear Koo saying he read our little game notes, my nerves get shot. It's so funny, man. God. The shit you guys are doing at the lawn sect. Anyway, chapter 110. Let's try to remember Moron's voice. The way that I actually got with Moron's voice was just listening to... Ajie, who does Wei Wuxian in China, when he spoke English, and he was like, Emperor's smile, one for me and one for you. Shizun doesn't know about the little puppy's past. Cliff note. More accurately nuanced translation of the title would be the little puppy's past that Shizun doesn't know about. Emphasis on the past rather than the not knowing. Oh shit, we're gonna get pain from Moron? Are we finally gonna hear about his mummy? We still don't know what happened to his mummy, just that she died while he was at... Like, he ended up working at a... Not quite a whorehouse, a courtesan house. Not quite a whorehouse. Did the blizzard eat you? Nah, we survived. Like I said, it was only for 45 minutes, so we only had to drive through it for like 5 minutes. And then it cleared. And they have a lot of snow plows in my town. I live in a mountain town. Everything gets plowed immediately. Oh, man. Moron wandered the streets by himself. There were still ghosts drifting eerily about the streets as well, and the bluestone steps were covered in lonesome clumps of moss, wet and slippery beneath his feet. Only now that he'd calmed down after the fierce struggle did he finally notice that his fingers had been scraped raw and bloody. The door frame was crudely made and covered in splinters that had gotten embedded into his hand and made a mess of it, but luckily it was dark enough that the ghost didn't notice. He stared quietly at it for a while. Can't read today. I've done so much voice acting already today. Let's reset. 1 minute. Much better. Laddie Tengu, thank you so much for following. Welcome to the House of Copper Hounds. It's lovely to have you here, and I hope you enjoy your stay. We have been here before. Food, pain, or horny jail? All three! Okay. Okay. He stared quietly at it for a while, and his lashes downcast. Perhaps because the pain in his heart was far greater, but the gruesome wounds on his hand didn't really hurt. This is more sad than dark at this point. He misses his Shizun so much. He looked back at that firmly shut door and knew well that the man behind it wouldn't speak another word to him. Moron was no stranger to such rejection. He was already more than used to malevolence, to the point that he could tell whether or not his plea would have any effect from just the look in their eyes and a couple of words. Truth be told, the moment that man had changed to saying, "Haven't seen him," Moron already instinctively knew that he wasn't going to get another truthful word out of him. It was just that he didn't want to give up because it had to do with Chu Wanning's Earth Soul, so he'd persisted until he had been shoved outside and the door had slammed in his face. It's been a long time since he had been refused so brutally, but sometimes the passage of time couldn't really resolve anything, and neither could happier circumstances change that which was innate. Some things were simply carved into the bones. Shui Meng had once called him a low-life scum. It's funny, but these venomous words from the darling of the heavens didn't even make a dent in his dignity. That's right, he is what everyone calls a low-life scum. He'd been called much worse things more times than he could count. He was already used to it. He glanced over his shoulder at that tightly closed wooden door one last time, then slowly walked away in the low snickers of the crowd of spectating ghosts. He stood alone amidst voices of derision and ridicule. Such a scene of abject helplessness, once again after so many years, overlapping with the distant, faded memories of his childhood. Moron put one foot in front of the other. Maybe because the circumstances were really too much alike, but he couldn't help thinking about those days when it had been just him and his mom. I fucking knew we were getting to this at some point. Because everybody, even from the video game, I've seen some images from like the official tie-in video game where it's Moron and his mother and it looks really fucking tragic. So I have like very soft, slight spoilers of what might happen here. And that's why I was continuously like, are they ever going to tell us about Moron's mom? Come on. Some things were simply carved into the bones. It's fucked, man. It's interesting to think that that's why Moron is the way he is. That's why he's able to take so much punishment and be such a shameless person. Is not even the past of like Tashi and Jun, but even before that, just growing up as a child. Well, Penniless, not quite orphan at this point. Penniless person struggling to get by on the street, doing whatever he had to do to get by. So him being called like a mutt, uncivilized, uncouth, whatever, it's like, I've heard worse, fucker. I've had to beg to survive and to keep my mum alive. Fuck you. Should I clip the gurgles? No, don't clip the gurgles. That's how I like reset my brain. Oh no. Oh no. What was that? First time chat from Spring Bunny 1010. Hi, this is my first time to ever catch a stream. Welcome to the House of Copper Hounds. It's lovely to have you here and thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoy your time with us and in the House of Copper Hounds. I'm glad to see everybody welcoming them as well. That's great. Moran was like Jiggy. Yeah, Moran had a bad childhood too. I don't know how bad Jiggy's was. Actually, it's very similar now that I think about it. The mother's working in like a courtesan house. Although Jing Guangyao's mother was straight up a prostitute, right? Prostitute that his dad actually. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think Jing Guangyao had a worse, more rough start. But I think this is going to get bad for Moran. Let's just jump in. In those days, they weren't at the pleasure house yet, but wandered the streets of Linyi near Rufeng sect. In those days, at least he still had his mom, and oh my god, they're near Rufeng sect. That's where Shizun was around this time. Shizun got his clothes from there. Shizun went down to the Rufeng sect when he first... Anyway, we'll see. His mother loved him. He was still small and she didn't want him to go out begging for food, so she always had him stay in an abandoned firewood shed while she went out to sing and perform on the streets. She had a good foundation and could dance on a bamboo pole, so she usually managed to earn a couple of coins each day to buy a piece of flatbread and a bowl of congee to share between mother and son. I am very sorry. I know what they're saying there. That she could literally dance on top of a bamboo pole. Like she's that skilled, she can basically float and dance on top of... No! That's what I'm saying though! You already hear like they're in dire straits and then you hear his mom went out and danced on a pole and it's like... No. Is that what she told you, moron? She told you she was on top of it. I'm sorry. Mothers always wanted their children to eat more, but Moran would only take a few bites before saying the flatbread was too hard, the congee was too bland, or that he was full and refused to eat anymore. Little did she know, but every time she sighed and ate the leftover half of the flatbread and half bowl of congee, the small child curled up to the side pretending to be asleep was always secretly watching her through squinted eyes, only relaxing after making sure she had filled her stomach, feeling at ease despite the rumbling in his own. Nor did she know that every day after she left to perform on the streets at Linyin's East Market, her child would crawl out from the pile of firewood and sneak out to beg for food 2 streets over from where she performed. Oh, that's so fucking sad, man. Oh, he's such a good boy. He's so young. Oh, he's acted so bratty about it as well. I like that. But he's just straight up like, ew, this flatbread's stale. Ew, this congee's bland. And she's sitting there like, oh, you fucking spoiled brat. You're gonna starve to death. Meanwhile, he's just trying to take care of her. Oh, look, Koo. Just because Lang Yi-jun would do that doesn't mean all parents are majestic pole dancers. And there's nothing wrong with pole dancing. It's just, yeah, seeing somebody, the line, dance on a bamboo pole. Like, I know what it means. It's fucking impressive. So is stripping on a pole, to be fair. That takes incredible core strength. But that's what I'm saying. There'd be nothing wrong if she was literally strip dancing on a pole. But it's just the way it was worded was like, I know a lot of people whose parents had to go out and pole dance to make money to get by. So it's just funny that was worded that way. Just remembered when I read this chapter, yeah, we're gonna cry. Where did this come from? Even I'm like, no, Koo. It's fine. It's fine. Nothing wrong with it. People need to earn their money. Don't shame people. The mother sang a beautiful song as she propped up the 10 feet tall pole and danced upon it with her frail body. The ground below her was covered in shattered rocks and broken ceramics. If she were to fall, all of the sharp pieces would pierce into her body. Fuck, I hate... this is getting so scary. This is how she's gonna die, isn't she? But the spectators thought it novel and exciting, and so she staked her low-born life and danced just to win a smile from the moneyed onlookers. 2 streets away, her child begged on the street, going door by door, grinning with his grubby little face, and saying the same greetings for good fortune over and over, hoping for something to eat. But he didn't get anything. Not often. One day, a young madam of wealthy family, pregnant, bored, and in a foul mood, was strolling around the streets when she saw Moran's mother dancing on the pole. She went over and watched for a while, intrigued, and then sent an attendant to go speak with the dancer. "These broken rocks and ceramic bits you have on the ground are just for looks. Where's the sincerity? Our madam says that if you replace them with knives, blade up, and dance over that, then she will reward you with 10 taels of gold." Oh, this is straight up how she fucking dies, isn't it? A fucking shitty piece of shit rich woman who's just like, hey, that's not good enough. Dance with blades under you. And then she's probably going to manage it just fine because she does it anyway. And they're going to start throwing rocks at her or something. I hate this. I hate this. We're going to sadder music and it better not fucking happen. Faced with such a cruel request, practically demanding her life. But the mother's only response was, "I can't afford to buy any knives." The wealthy madam laughed and immediately had someone go to the ironware store, purchase 100 sharp knives, and arrange them upright on the ground. "Dance!" the richly adorned woman said gleefully as she caressed her bulging belly. A crowd of fiends and demons, eager to watch the sport, had already begun to gather, all of them decked out in silks and jades that sparkled in the sun. They were like vultures that had scented the stench of blood in the air and gathered to feed on the corpse, with their necks outstretched and their eyes glinting. "Go on, dance." "Dance well and I'll give you money." "There's tips to be had." I fucking hate rich people, man. This is fucking Squid Games! And real life. But mostly Squid Games! The areas under Rufong Sec's jurisdiction had no shortage of wealthy people. What it lacked was the excitement and liveliness of such life-risking wages. Those silks and satins, gold and pearls closed in on the mother with the bamboo pole, surrounding the penniless woman in rags. And so the woman, her life as cheap as wild grass by the roadside, smiled and curtsied toward the crowd of carrion vultures, thanking them for their patronage, and then began a graceful dance upon the pole, light as a swallow, dancing upon the blades, staking her life to garner their favor. But although she was skilled, she inadvertently glanced down at the rows upon rows of sharp knives as she went in for the landing. Her bamboo pole tilted a couple of degrees in that moment of panic, and as alarmed cries rang out from the crowd, she fell. She managed to avoid the area with most knives, but still skirted the edge, slashing her legs open, the crowd crying out once more as blood splattered. Ignoring the pain, she hurriedly stood up, offering a smile as she lowered her head in apology. The spectators commented with a sneer. "These skills aren't quite there yet. Better practice more." "That's right. You've got to have some skill if you want to make a living. Half-baked foolery won't get you far." A few of the kinder people, their eyes brimming with tears, said sympathetically, Enough already. Look at the poor girl's injury. Hurry to the apothecary and get some medicine for it." The woman said hesitantly, I don't have any money for medicine." Those people faltered, some sighing, others lifting their hands to touch their jades and pearls. But none of them spoke. A couple dabbed at the corner of their eyes as if deeply touched. "How pitiful." "Indeed, indeed." "Seeing as how hard your life is, I'll give you some money," said an elderly woman, with a big belly as she took out her bulging purse, fished out a handful of gold leaflets, held them in her hands, and kept digging until she dug out 3 copper coins, weighed them in her hand, returned 2, then very solemnly placed 1 copper coin in the mother's hand. Having given generously, the elderly woman allowed tracks of well-earned tears roll down her cheeks as she spoke in a tone of benevolence. "Miss, you deserve this. Take it." The woman clutched the copper coin that she had used her life to exchange for and murmured blankly, "Thank you." Thank you. Oh, that's the wrong. Thank you. And the wealthy madam that had promised her 10 gold, she had already walked off, cursing. The woman staggered after her on bleeding legs, wanting to ask her for the money, but was shoved to the ground by her attendants, who swore so loudly they could be heard a whole street over. Bad luck. Our madam must keep her baby safe. The sight of blood is inauspicious. Master will be so worried if he hears. And you still have the nerve to ask for money? You call that a dance? It's a good thing your blood didn't get on our madam, or else there'd be consequences. Scram. The woman was shoved to the ground roughly, but they were from a well-known family of affluence in Linyin, so no one was willing to stand up for her. She twisted in pain on the ground, writhing like a lowly insect. No one came to help her out. No one was willing to open their purse for her. She had danced with her life on the line, but all she got for it was a single cold copper coin. The kind woman who gave it to her had said that it was what she had deserved. She didn't spare a thought for herself, but she had earned only 1 coin today. What could she buy with that? All that would get her was a single piece of flatbread without any filling, not even a bowl of congee to go with it. And now that her leg was hurt, she wouldn't be able to dance tomorrow. But what about her child? He was still so small, so skinny. I'll go hungry again. She really couldn't take it anymore. Thinking about that, she curled up in the mud and wept sorrowfully, her voice raw and shuddering. Unable to bear the sound of it, the onlookers sighed and began to disperse. I fucking hate that shit so much. The bitch ran out and bought 100 sharp knives to stick underneath her to make sure that it was a deadly performance. And then when she did her best and happened to slip once, she couldn't spare her any fucking coins. Not even the copper coin that the old lady gave. And that was such a disgusting description as well. Well done to Meat Bun doing the straight up like, oh, she pulled out all these golden leaflets. And then she fished further down and found 3 copper coins. And then she put 2 back. Fuck, man. Oh, and that rich woman was pregnant too, doing that to her mother. Yeah. Different kinds of children. Her children, because of that shit, is going to go hungry for several days. And let's be honest, we know what kind of story this is. This wound, especially now that she's curled up in the dirty mud with it still open and bleeding, she's not going to spend money to get the medicine that she actually needs to disinfect it. That wound's going to get infected, isn't it? And she'll never be able to dance again, and that's when Moron's going to have to do really fucked up shit on the street to survive. Man. Change the music, murder time music. I think we're still in sad mode for now. It may get like straight up battle mode soon, but this is definitely still pain music. Maybe Ta Xianzun was right to kill rich people. I mean, I don't think you could say it openly on a streaming service, but I mean, eat the rich? It would solve so many problems. Oh, there's so much wealth to go around if it isn't completely hoarded by a certain tiny percentage of the fucking population. It's like Uber top 1% rich giving you a coupon for a free burger. Yeah. Yeah. It's the Amazon shit. Where the Amazon, like, way up there, Jeff Bezos, whoever else. Oh, shit. Twitch is literally... You know what? We're only going to be on Twitch for 3 more days. Jeff Bezos earning, like, $50 million a minute or some shit. I don't know the exact value. And meanwhile, the workers in his fucking factories have to stay on their feet all the time, piss in bottles. The ones who are out delivering things have to piss in bottles because they can't take breaks. If their truck breaks down, if there's bad weather, if there's problems with the roads, that all comes out of their shit. Back-breaking labor just to get by. Murder the rich. But that woman felt proud of herself. And I like that as well. That's what I meant to say. Is the difference between the way those 2 children are going to be raised. The fact that this woman is doing her everything just to keep her child alive. Basically just almost died trying to get her boy a fucking meal for the day. Meanwhile, the rich woman saw a sight of blood and decided to run away and just barely held off from beating the girl for the inauspiciousness of bleeding in front of her and her child. Her child is going to want for nothing. Meanwhile, Moron may have died on these streets in a different kind of story. Wonder if this is why Moron destroyed Rufung sect. It's a homecoming party, man. It's like, hey, bitches, remember me and my mommy? How about you dance for me? On top, in fact, I hope he did. I hope he found this woman in the future. Or her child. Not the child. Sins of the father shouldn't pass on to the child or the mother. But I hope he found the fat woman and put her on top of, like, just, didn't even have to be a bamboo pole. Just put her on top of a log. Whole bunch of knives underneath. Make her dance. See how she does. That'll do it. That'll do it. Yeah, I saw this line and I was like, oh, it's gonna get real bad. This needs to straight up go to. Just then, a dirty child with a foul, stinky smell suddenly burst through the crowd. Moron ran over, yelling like a trapped beast. Mom? Mom! He hugged her. A lowly child hugging his lowly mother. Like a bug clinging to grass. Like a straw dog clutching at duckweed. What? In ancient times, dogs made of straw were used as sacrificial offerings, then thrown away after. And so signifies something lowly and worthless. Fuck. Yeah, that's basically how they used her. God, I love Meat Bun's writing. Surprise and panic flashed across the woman's eyes when she saw him. She may be weak, but mothers were strong. She stopped crying immediately. Life was already hard enough day after day, like going to sleep in hell and waking in the same. She didn't want to look weak and helpless in front of her child. The tears on her face weren't even dry yet, but she hurriedly arranged her features into a smile, saying, look at you. What are you doing here? Mom is fine, it's just a scratch. Oh, but look! She stuffed the sweat-covered copper coin clutched in her hand into his. Moron shook his head over and over, tears washing tracks down his dirty little face. It's enough for a piece of flatbread. Go on, go buy one. Mom will wait right here for you, then we can go home. Home? Where is home? That rundown storage shed? Or that sheep pen they once slept in before getting chased out 2 days later? Moron fought back sobs, fire burning his eyes as he said, Mom, just sit here and rest for a while. What are you going to... Don't do anything foolish! Moron ran to the side and picked up a knife, then shouted loud and clear in his still young voice, drawing back the attention of the dispersing crowd. Lords and ladies, please wait, please wait. We still have a special performance for your lordships and ladyships. Please spare a glance. He innately had spiritual energy since youth, and was thus much stronger than any ordinary person without aptitude, even without cultivating it. Moron held the sharp and sturdy blade in his hands, and with a low cry, broke the knife in half and tossed the pieces onto the ground. The crowd was startled, especially the couple of cultivators among them. Kid's not bad. One more! One more! Moron said, picking up 2 knives this time and snapping both together. Nice! Someone in the crowd clapped. 3 knives! The small child added 1 knife after another, the crowd getting more and more excited as the stack grew thicker and harder to break. Kuga, JJ, uncles and aunties, please spare some tips and I'll add more. These people, eager for a show, tossed the cheapest copper coins they could find onto the ground in front of him. For those coins, Moron added knife after knife until his hands were covered in blood and he really couldn't break anymore. The carrion vultures flapped their pitch-black wings and scattered. Moron picked up the copper coins, holding them carefully in his dirty little hands, and walked over to his teary, dazed mother. He smiled. Mom, we can get you the medicine now. Her tears fell uncontrollably. My child, my good boy, let Mom see your hand. I'm okay. His smile was bright and pure. It scorched her heart. She pulled him into her arms, hugging him tightly as she sobbed. It's all Mom's fault for not being able to take care of you, making you suffer so much so young. It's all right. Moron said quietly in his mom's arms. I don't mind as long as I'm with you, Mom. We'll get through this together. And when I grow up, I'll give Mom a good life. She smiled and wiped the tears from her eyes. It's all right even if it's not a good life. As long as you can grow up healthy and strong, that'll be good. That'll be enough. Moron nodded vigorously, then suddenly said quietly, Mom, if I manage to make something of myself in the future, you'll never have to put up with any of this anymore. I'll make all those people just now come and apologize to you. And if they won't, then I'll make them dance on knives. Silly child, don't think like that. The kind, gentle woman stroked his hair as she whispered, Absolutely don't think like that. Don't hate anyone. Mom wants to watch you grow into a good kid. Promise me you'll be a good, kind person, okay? Moron was so young back then, like a small, tender seedling. Just a tiny touch of outside influence and he would lean easily into that direction. And his mother, uneducated but pure, was his first lighthouse. And so little Moron thought it over for a bit, rather puzzled, and in the end said with an air of seriousness, Okay, he said. Mom, I promise you. Then in the future, if I can make something of myself, I'll build lots and lots of houses for people without homes, and plant lots and lots of food for people who don't have enough to eat. He said to his mother, Mom, that way, no one will ever have to live like us again. The woman stared blankly for a while, then said with a sigh, That would be wonderful. The little kid nodded in agreement, saying, That would be wonderful. At that time, neither of them could have anticipated that someone who would say something like that would end up treading through fields of bones, with his hands covered in blood, bringing the stench of misery and ruin as vultures and crows hovered overhead, that he would become Emperor Taxian Jun, scourge of the common people. And scourge of the common people, Emperor Taxian Jun rarely, if ever, looked back on this chapter of his past. He didn't honor that promise made in his mother's arms back then. That promise spoken solemnly with clear eyes and a tender voice. Back then, with his mother's guidance, no matter how hard things got, Moron never hated anyone, though he did feel somewhat unresigned. Day after day passed by like this, but street-side performances were lively to the passers-by the first time around, boring the second time, and irritating by the third. Eventually, they weren't able to earn even a single copper coin anymore, and could only resort to begging. Moron remembered a kid... I'm taking a break there. Fuck, man. She did such a good job guiding her child. Way better than that piece of shit pregnant rich lady is going to do for her child. Her child's going to be a piece of shit. And poor Moron, man. He was so good back here. He wanted to do anything for his mother. And she was guiding him so good. And I love the way that Meat Bun described his mother as acting as Moron's lighthouse. The idea of like keeping him on the right path, keeping him out of the darkness, keeping him safe. And that's just such a good way to describe a protective parent figure who's looking after someone. Also, I like the fact that along with I'd imagine many people who read this for the first time was like, oh, I hope he finds that pregnant lady and makes her dance above the knives. And then little baby boy, adorable little Moron, said the same fucking thing. Oh, he's so sweet, but he's so close to going down a bad path. I hope that prego woman has a girl and makes her husband unhappy. Problem is, they might just get rid of it at that point. Moron could have become such a good person, but life just kept pushing him to the lowest. Yeah, everything just kept getting darker. He had his mom, and then he had Shizun, and then he had Shimei, and just one by one, he was either alienated from them, he thought that they'd given up on him, or he lost them. And so he had no one left to guide him anymore. No one left to keep that light in him alive. Moron meeting his mother in the afterlife, so about that. Oh, the world sucks. Good children go up and the world just fails them. Yeah. Yeah. Lightning gave me chills. I liked that. And the crows. I'm glad I had lightning and crows. Voice acting though? Thank you. I slowly got into the right kind of voice for like a childhood moron, but it was dozens and dozens of dialogue lines into it. His first instinct was violence. It was her who changed that. With her gone, so was the kind child. The innocence in him died at some point. We're gonna find out when. I'm not gonna lie. Somebody did the shit to my mom that these fuckers did to his. When he first grabbed the knife, I thought that was what was happening. I got the fucking battle music ready. I was like, oh shit, he's got to stab the pregnant lady, ain't he? And this might be how his mom actually dies. I was worried about that. That he'd tried to stab the pregnant lady and everybody else around would be like, you miscreant, and try to kill him and like take out his mom. It's fine. It wasn't that bad. It's still fucked up. At least now she sees her son can do some good tricks. They just need to move to a different town. Everyone in Rufeng has seen what he can do. But if they move elsewhere, he can surprise people again. Even after what the crowd did to her, she still didn't blame them. Nah, that's the sad thing. She cried her eyes out. She felt bad. She didn't blame them. She didn't hate them. It was just, wow, this fucking sucks. She was just so hurt when her son saw her. She finds it so important to try and keep her son away from how fucked up the world actually is. Man, she had a lot of heart, man. Mama Ran's great. They deserve all the good things in the world. If only someone in the crowd had been a good-natured cultivator who was like, wow, that kid really does have skills. I want to recruit him. He's clearly got the skills. He's impressing fucking rich people. Who missed being a part of your streams? What's up, Cúsleácrann? Oh yeah, I did also meant to say, oh, you did the special welcome too. But what I wanted to say was thank you for resubscribing. I saw that 5 minutes ago, but I was really into the read-through. Welcome back to the House of Copper Hounds for the full year in a row. I hope you enjoy your stay. And yeah, it's lovely to see you again, Cúsleácrann. It has been a while. 1 minute. Let's see if I can... I haven't had to do a special welcome in a while. There we go. And we need this one. That one. Yes. Okay. There's a lot to prepare with this. Because we're so close to being done with Cúsleácrann. But anyway. Oh ho. A mortal has been brave enough to enter my domain. Greetings, young one. I am your loyal hound, Cúsleácrann, and it is my pleasure to meet you. Would you like me to get you a drink? Some food, maybe? Or perhaps this old hound? Either way, thank you so much for coming, and welcome, Cúsleácrann, to the House of Copper Hounds. There you go. Yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Lean into the cringe. It's been a while since we've had to do this. Yeah. Yeah, there's a reason I never had hotkeys set up for that one. Because that so rarely happens, and it's so rare that I actually have to prepare for that. Oh, thank you for the hydrates. I think I saw something else. Oh, it was just change the music. And yeah, I'm sorry. I turned that one down. I was like, no murder music. Moron, not a murderer yet. That comes later. I will miss that emphasis on every coming. It's okay. We'll put a lot of emphasis on the going too. We'll have a good time. But thank you. That was nice to have, and it's lovely to see you, Cúsleácrann. I hope you're doing well too. Moron remembered a kid from a wealthy merchant family who was around his age and had a big mole by the corner of his lips. He remembered that kid sitting at the gate of his family's big courtyard, holding a bowl in his hand. The kid probably couldn't use chopsticks well yet, so he ate the golden crispy fried dumplings in the bowl by jabbing them with bamboo sticks. He was a picky eater and would only eat the filling, spitting the wrappers out and tossing them to the ground to play with the dogs. Some people have too much fucking money, man. Too much fucking money. So he walked over cautiously and stood carefully to the side. The kid jolted at how dirty and stinky he was, screeching, "Who are you?" Moron asked quietly. "Young master." Fuck, I lost that voice immediately. Young master, the dumpling wrappers, could you give them to me? Give them to you? How would I give them to you? You're not eating them anyway, so I just wanted to ask, so what if I don't eat them? I'll Wang Thai will. The kid pointed at the pair of fat dogs with sleek coats and said in a huff, It's already hard enough feeding our dogs, how could I give them to you? Moron forced a smile, saying, Then, if the dogs can't finish, as if that would ever happen, they get braised meat every day and even that's not enough. This is just dumpling wrappers. 2 bites and it's all gone. Either way, none for you. Shoo, shoo! Hearing the words braised meat, Moron couldn't help looking at those dogs, all of a sudden thinking with how fat they were, if cooked, they must be. He couldn't help swallowing as he stared at the dogs. The kid noticed him swallowing. He froze for a second, then yelled in shock. What are you up to? Nothing. You want to eat Wang Sai and Wang Fu? Wang Sai and Wang Fu are the names of his dogs. Wang is prosper, but also the word for a dog's bark. Oh, Wang Wang in Chinese. Yeah, Wang Wang is the Chinese version of bark bark. Sai is wealth, money. Fu is fortune, happiness. Wow, those are some lofty names for fucking dogs. Poor Moron. And this is the sad thing. Everybody goes on to call him a dumb husky, a dumb mutt, a feral animal. Meanwhile, he wasn't even fed as well as an animal at this point. He's jealous of the dogs to the point where he's like, I could just eat them. I don't need to have their food. I could just eat one of them. Sounds like the dogs are doing fine. The dogs are doing great. Moron, on the other hand. Oof. Gardener's dog won't eat nor will it let others eat. I prefer Fairy as a dog name. Fairy. Koo, a dog himself. Some fucking lofty name for a dog. Hey, Koo didn't even have a name. Koo literally means dog in Irish. The Koo was just the Koo. He could also eat the kid. He could definitely eat the kid. But that would turn him into a W word which we don't say out loud. Don't commit cannibalism, kids. Don't eat dogs either. That's a cultural thing, but I can't do it, man. They're man's best friend. They're too emotionally attached to us. It's the same. I can't fucking eat octopuses or dolphins because they're just too fucking smart. Dolphins are shits, but they're really smart. Octopuses are very charming and also very smart. Same for crows. I would never anger a crow. But this kid, I might eat this kid. Taking Moron away, my poor baby boy. You've suffered so long. I know, right? Ah, this fucking kid who's just like, ew, no, you can't have them. The dogs have them. And they're not even getting enough. Oh, he sucks. The naughty Koo is what I'm understanding. Unless I give you permission. I mean, you know, if it's consensual, you eat all you want. Hi, Kron. Yo, Sad Wolfie, how are you doing? I'm sure you were on the menu. I'm sure Ben will be on the menu. I'd eat a scorpion. Seb, I would totally eat a scorpion. Oh, man. Here's my thought process. Kids should be treated better than dogs, but dogs should be treated like they're a part of the family. Exactly. That's how I feel about it. Wait, betrayal? I like bugs, man. Bugs are tasty. I am one of those people. I like the crunch. I like it when they're fried and with just like a little bit of seasoning on them. I'm one of those weird people. Glad to hear I'm not being killed by my adopted dad. Yet. You burn down the bar. Shit may happen. My brain's in horny jail and it's going to bad places. Hey, you were supposed to leave. It's all good. So you eat scorpions, but not let us into the underworld. Yeah, I said what I said. You can get into the underworld, Seb. You developed a consciousness. We talked about this last time. Normal scorpions don't have consciousnesses. They can't get it. Come to think of it, I wonder if there is Yao Guai in the underworld. I've never known that about Chinese superstitions. If Yao Guai will go there and reincarnate. Some of them certainly... Some of them become like gods and shit. Huh. We got fucking raided? Yo! Sun Wu, how are you doing, my boy? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the House of Copper Hounds. It's lovely to have you here. We are just reading a Chinese web novel which currently is being super sad and super painful and is making us want to commit cannibalism. But not hurt the dogs. There are also some dogs that are absolutely sweet. Yo, son, how are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. You just got done reacting to... Oh, not Smile Down the Runway. The one with Marin that everyone loves. Dress Up Doll. I don't know its name properly. It looks good, though. I will watch it at some point. Hope you're having a good one. Bold of you to assume this is a consciousness and not an automatic message reply. Seb, have you been an AI this entire time? Are you full on reaction mode just like every other bug? I knew it. Should have always known it. Biased? I can be. I'm allowed to be. Oh, man. But yo, what's up, Raiders? I hope you're all having a good time. I'm sure you had an amazing time with Sunwoo. Dress up, darling. Thank you, everyone. Timeshare has been very good crow. She brought gifts. Then again, she gave Seb bullets and bones and gems. Timeshare's a good girl. Not the bullets. Don't give Seb bullets. That's a bad idea. Don't blame the doggies because their owners are garbage. Exactly. It's the same for most children. Some children need to be taken away from their parents and just given a better chance. Oh, man. Dogs even more so. Dogs, if you treat them badly, they're going to be feral animals. If you train them properly, they're going to be amazing creatures. First time I've seen the new model like the update coup. Thank you, Hard as B. I like him too. He a big boy, and he got fangies. Ah. Sono Bisque. Yeah. That's what I mainly see it as, is Sono Bisque, whatever that extends to. But yeah, dress up, darling. It looks really cute. The animation is incredible. I saw one scene, I think it was episode 3, where they fucking made armpits look sexual as all hell, and not sure how I feel about that. It's impressive. If you get a boner from a fucking armpit animated, you know something's gone terribly wrong or terribly right. Somebody wants rain. Okay. Enjoy the rain, ASMR. Too late, the bug has bullets. But does the bug have a gun? It might be fine. Just don't eat snake stew and I shall be happy. I might try eating snake in the future. If I'm offered it. If I get offered something like that, I may well dive into it. Sono bisque do wa koi wo suru, my dress up darling. Thank you, Reviving All. I always forget that name. It's one that I definitely need to get into. The only series I've been watching this season, is The Legend of Vox Machina and Blade Runner Black Lotus. Yeah, no anime right now. Holy shit. Not even any donghua either. Rattlesnake's pretty good, I've heard. The one about the uniform. Uniform? That's something different. Bro, your voice is amazing. Holy shit. What's up, Waffle McQuack? That's very nice of you. It's very sweet of you. I don't like my voice. But thank you very much. With that said, we can dive back into this. Welcome to the House of Copper Hounds, Raiders. I hope you're having a lovely time. This is going to get very weird for you. We're about 3/4 of the way through a chapter of a novel that we're on chapter 110 of. So, thank you for joining us, and I hope you have a good day. Moron said in a panic. No, I was just really hungry and couldn't help thinking about it. Sorry. But the little young master couldn't care less what he had to say. The words, couldn't help thinking about it, already scared the blood out of his face. How could a wealthy family's kid possibly understand that someone could think of his adorable little watchdogs as food? Frightened by the freak in front of him, he started screaming. Somebody come! Hurry! Chase him away! Household servants crowded in on Moron and started kicking and punching him before he could say anything. In that rain of blows, he tried to grab as many of the fried dumpling wrappers on the ground as he could, holding them tightly in his hands and not letting go however hard they kicked. The little young master was terrified, tossing the remaining dumplings alongside the chopsticks to the ground and running away. Moron crawled arduously over, dragging his small, skinny body that had been beaten blue and purple. One of his eyes hurt too much to open. A kick had landed there, but he smiled happily as he reached out and grabbed those leftover dumplings. There were 2 dumplings left, with the filling still in them. One for himself, one for Mother. Or both for Mother. Just the wrappers is fine for him. But before he could even leave with the dumplings, one of the servants' feet came down in the chaos and crushed those dumplings skewered on the bamboo chopstick. The crispy wrappers cracked and the mincemeat filling turned into paste. He gripped the dirty, broken chopstick at a daze as kicks and punches rained down on him. He couldn't feel the pain, but his tears began to fall because the dumplings couldn't be eaten anymore, squeezing out from between swollen shut eyelids to stream down a small face so dirty it was hard to see his features. He only wanted another child's leftover unwanted food. Why would they rather waste it? Crush it? Turn it into paste than let him have it? Later, Moran became a young master of Sushang Peak, and many within the sect tried to suck up to him, to ingratiate themselves to him. His birthday was filled with gifts and well wishes from people he hardly even spoke to. The child that once had to crawl on the ground and scramble for discarded dumpling wrappers finally received an abundance of praise and fawning. But standing before that pile of carefully selected presents, he found himself gripped by a vague sense of dread. He was afraid that those presents would disappear, that they would get smashed, that something would happen out of the blue and everything in front of him would suddenly become crushed underfoot, like those dumplings he once held in his hands but never got to eat. And so, out of that pile of things, he quickly used the usables and quickly ate the edibles. As for the things he couldn't be used or eaten, he dug a secret little compartment in his room and carefully hid those intricate gifts inside, counting them every day, and then counting again just to be sure. Shui Meng had made fun of him, pointing and laughing. It's just a box of pastries from Linan's Breeze Bakery. It's no big deal if they go bad or to waste. But look at you, shoving them all down your throat in one go. Did you starve to death in the last life or something? No one's gonna fight you for them. He had only just arrived at Sushang Peak back then, and truthfully still felt extremely uneasy and insecure deep down. So he only grinned at his cousin's mocking, crumbs still at the corner of his mouth, before lowering his head back down and opening another box of pastries. Shui Meng was amazed. What an appetite! Aren't you stuffed? He only kept eating. Don't force yourself if you're full. I get tons of pastries every year for my birthday too. Who can eat that many pastries? Moran's cheeks were stuffed full and bulging. He was actually choking a little from eating too fast. He glanced at Shui Meng sitting across from him with teary black eyes. In that moment, he suddenly thought of that little young master he had met when he was younger. The one who could be picky about his food as much as he wanted, who ate the filling from his fried dumplings and tossed the wrappers to his dogs. Shui Meng probably grew up like that too. That's why he could so easily say things like, "Just toss it if you can't finish it. No one's gonna fight you for them." He really envied him. Fuck. Meng Meng don't understand, guys. You can't blame Meng Meng. To be fair, in Meng Meng's eyes, it isn't an idea of wasting the pastries. It's straight up, Moran is freaking out right now. Like, Moran is in prison mode. That shit where as soon as you get food, like, you scoff it. Because somebody is going to come along and try to take it from you or beat the crap out of you while you're not paying attention. Meng Meng don't understand that. Meng Meng would never understand that. So he's just like, cousin, what the fuck are you doing? You can't eat that many pastries. Save some. Don't try to eat them all immediately. Child, no. You're gonna die. How could someone who never experienced true hunger understand what it means to always be on the brink of starvation? Exactly, Lucilla. Understand the idea of not wanting to waste anything. The sad thing is that Moran at this point is already broken from having lost his mother. Because if it was the Moran from back then who still had his mother, still had a guiding light, and was getting this kind of awesome amount of things, for one thing, the rest of them would be going to his mother. But after that, his mother would probably be like, well, you know what we have to do, son? And they'd go right down the 3,000 plus steps of Sushang Peak, down to the lower cultivation realm, and donate the rest of them to anybody who could need them. Meng Meng, my precious boy, go touch some grass. I love you, but shut the fuck up. He doesn't understand. He's a child too, guys. You gotta remember that. Poor little husky. Poor little husky. He's just doing what he can. He's eating what he can. Oh, shit. Oh, no, we did that one. Kuroshi 12 and Waffle McQuack. Thank you so much for following. Welcome to the House of Copperhounds. It's lovely to have you here. And I am going to throw out the ho-ho emote. Welcome to the House of Copperhounds. I hope you enjoy your stay. If you have it, spam us with some ho-hos. That's exactly how things should be, if only. Didn't think it was spicy. It makes me want to sew, but I'm so terrified at the same time. Can't remember how to use a sewing machine. I could never use a sewing machine. I almost killed myself so many times. Never give pastries to dogs, by the way. Sweet is harmful for them. Yeah. There's so many things that are harmful for dogs. Chocolate. Chocolate's the worst one, because all dogs want to eat chocolate cookies. Because it's like during World War II and people dying from being fed too much too fast. That's a thing? I know if you've been starved and you try to eat, you like get violently ill. I've never heard the story of people getting fed too fast in World War II and dying. That's terrifying. Sewing machines are evil. They're very good at sewing your sleeves to things. And then you have a funny extended shirt. Ina Licorice, thank you so much for subscribing for the 7th month in a row. I swear every time we get into Urha characters' backstories, we always end up in tears with knives stuck in our hearts. Facts. Facts. 100%. There's never a time that we get an Urha backstory where it's not pure pain. Hell, sometimes we get little Urha backstories where it's just like a line or two. You've just barely met the person and it's like, oh, that sucking sucks. You meet this character and the first thing they say is like, oh, he must have starved to death. He looks tidy. And it's like, oh, shit. Well, thank you, Meat Bun. Now that he was a young master of a famed sect, leading a life of luxury, he should by all rights be able to feel comfortable and secure, to waste and squander as he felt like. But he didn't dare. In the end, what he did was pick up the cup at the side and chug several mouthfuls of water to wash down the pastries that were stuck in his throat, and continue to force himself to eat more. Even later, he became Emperor Taxian Jun. Everything under the skies belonged to him. The most gorgeous beauties, the finest of wines, the most exquisite delicacies, golds, silvers, pearls, and jades, and treasured artifacts alike were gifted to him in a never-ending stream from all over the world. One day, a wealthy ore merchant came from Linan with a rare 10,000-year-old black-fired jade that had been discovered during mining, saying he wanted to gift it to Emperor Taxian Jun. People like him who came bearing gifts of treasures, hoping for a title of nobility or official post, or else trying to ingratiate themselves and garner favor, were really far too many to count. Moran usually just ignored them. But Chuan-Ning just so happened to have calmed down with the chills that day. Moran frowned a little. Blackfire Jade was excellent for expelling the cold, and he'd prefer that invalid to get better quick. Certainly beats him lying in bed all day being a damn eyesore. And so he agreed to see that wealthy merchant. The merchant was around his age, a bit chubby, and had a big mole on the corner of his lips with a hair growing from it. Upon the throne inside Wushan Palace sat Moran, with his slender hands folded, and the tips of his fingers resting against his chin, staring silently at him until the greasy merchant's legs went weak and sweat soaked his back. A long moment passed before the merchant, shaking all over and lips quivering, suddenly fell to his knees and began to kowtow over and over again, stammering, "Your Majesty, the slowly one, the slowly one!" He stammered for quite a while without managing to say anything, his fat body trembling incessantly under gold-embroidered clothing the whole time. Moran suddenly smiled. He could never forget this person, though he had only seen him once before. That year, the little kid with the mole by the corner of his lips who had sat in front of the wealthy family's extravagant residence with the kind of lavish mannerism that Moran had never thought he himself would ever possess. He'd sat there, jabbing into his bowl of golden dumplings with his bamboo chopsticks, a greasy sheen on his lips to match the greasy sheen on the crispy dumplings. He said with a smile, "Did you know? The fried dumplings at your place are delicious." He never actually got to taste them,
but he had obsessed over them for half his life. Sitting on his throne, Moron watched the person below him go from terrified to astounded, to bewildered to sycophantic, muttering obsequiously about having his chef come over to Sushang Peak right away as a gift to Emperor Taxian Jun. In that moment, Moron knew clearer than ever that so many in this world would rather kneel than lick the boots of the strong, then look down and show the weak even the tiniest bit of sympathy or kindness. Moron shook his head, trying to shake off those memories of bygone days. He rarely ever reminisced about his past. It was his weak spot. He didn't want it. But the scene of asking door by door and being rejected by door was so much like the past that the fetters down within his mind came undone against his will. And for a time, he was caught up in the darkness of his past. He stared off in a daze for a while. He thought. So he had once promised his mother when he was young that he wouldn't hold grudges. Promised her that he would build countless houses to shelter all the cold people in this world who didn't have homes, so that everyone could smile. But he didn't keep his word. And in the end, he'd even caused the death of the last person who treated him well. He'd caused Chu Wan-ning's death, caused his own Shizun's death. Chu Wan-ning. Moron's heart ached at the very thought of him. He absently took out that thin piece of paper bearing Chu Wan-ning's likeness from his robes. The paper had become a bit wrinkled. He pressed his lips together and wordlessly raised his hand, wanting to smooth it out, but blood smeared onto the paper as soon as he touched it. He jerked his hand back in a panic, afraid to dirty the portrait, and did not dare touch it anymore.
Fuck. They transitioned that really well as well. I didn't even realize at first that we'd immediately gone straight back to the actual like underworld scene. This isn't Taxian Jun anymore. This is Moron. I was like, wait, portrait? Oh shit, we're back to Moron 2.0. Well, okay. Oh man, wish I could stay all the way, but it's super late here. It's all good, Spring Buddy. Thanks for dropping in while you could, and I hope you have a lovely day. Imagine your child crimes coming back to bite you this hard when you're a full-grown adult. Funny thing is, he doesn't even fucking recognize him. He's just like, oh, Taxian Jun, Master Taxian Jun. Oh, I'll bring the fucking dumpling maker to you right away. That dude must have died a terrible fucking death. I'd imagine. I was sitting there like getting ready. Like I had this one clicked already. If I had double clicked it, I was so ready. I was so ready for him to be like, no, I think something else is on the menu today. But unfortunately, it's not what we got. But we ain't hearing from that man ever again? Yeah, he must have. Something went bad there. I don't know. Maybe Moron thought about his mother for a tiny bit and he was like, you know what? I won't kill you. Make me some fucking meat puns. The Chussi is a part of our identity. Of course we can't avoid it. Chussi is always close, man. Always close. Couldn't even make it one stream without it being said. Chussi comes eventually. It always appears. We were just very locked into baby Moron there for a while. It took us for a while to get back to the Chussi. My dog likes honey, so she fucking eats bees. Nani the fuck? That's a spicy meal. She eats bees. I once saw, like, one time I've seen like a video of a dog try to eat a bunch of bees. And then it's just like it cuts forward to like 2 hours later and the dog's face is all like puffed up. It's like, yeah, you probably should have tried to eat a fucking beehive. Oh, man. Aw, my first dog, Orku, in Golden Hound in Irish, he once got into the toilet bowl when there was cleaning stuff in it. When there was that, you know, that stuff you leave in because it like breaks everything down and then you actually scrub it out. Fucking idiot drank the water in the toilet bowl. Even though he had water in his bowl, he thought, oh, chemical water, that must be fun. Must have only, thankfully, drunk a tiny bit of it, but his face was so swollen up. I was so scared. We rushed him to the vet and they were like, nah, he's fine. It's just fucking idiot stuck his face in chemicals. Oh. Say I don't understand why people hate sewing machines, but I've also stitched through my own finger. Offended as a tailor's daughter. I'm sorry, Lucilla. They terrify us who don't know how to use them. Nani the fuck who's was he made into dumplings? He probably was. I'd imagine, yeah, maybe he made the kid into dumplings and then sent them back and made the rest of his household eat them. That's probably something I would do. It's like, oh, you guys wouldn't even let me eat the fucking dumplings. So you know what? All the servants at your house, these fuckers who wouldn't even let me have the dumplings, who crushed them underfoot, now you get to eat your master. Come on. You wouldn't want them to go to waste, would you? That'd be great. Don't know how to use a sewing machine. I just don't like. Oh, you know how you just don't like them. Puppers are adorable, but not good with common sense. No. Seen that video? I had a cat that would catch carpenter bees and eat their wings. Have you guys ever seen the video of the fucking the time that they're like a child is like protecting a butterfly and trying to get it out of the house carefully, and then they get it out of the house and it like flies away. It starts going through the garden, and then just a dog jumps out of nowhere and eats it. Because the parents like, no. I fucking love that. Dogs are great, man. Dogs have great comical timing. My dog one time ate a battery, rather chewed through it. That scared me, but she was completely okay. Dogs are surprisingly resilient. My dog has done that too. He like, not my current dog, my past dog. My past dog was a fucking menace. We got him when he was already 2 years old. He was not well trained. He tried to break through the door every chance he fucking got. It scratches everywhere. Oh, but yeah, he chewed through a remote controller, so 2 batteries, and spilled the battery acid into his mouth. And oh, can't imagine that felt great for him. What about making him into a dumpling and feeding dogs with it? I like that. I like that too. That's great too. That's less evil to random people because it would be a completely different bunch of servants by this point. So yeah, just feeding him to dogs would be a good like, you want your dogs to be happy, don't you? You don't want your dogs to go hungry. We don't want to waste the dumplings, do we? Yeah, I can imagine Tashi and Jun doing that. I like that. Good idea, Mama Bear. Anyway. Okay. I guess we're going back to sad. We've been dark, now we sad again. He walked from the 5th Street to the 3rd Street, still asking door by door, unresigned. But all the ghosts only say they've never seen the man in the portrait. He walked alone through the endless night. It was so dark, so long, that it seemed like he'll never reach the dawn no matter how hard he tried and how long he walked. Moron finally felt a little worn out. He hadn't had anything to eat or drink at all, and really was nearing his limits. Luckily, he spotted a stall selling wontons by the side of the street, so he went over and bought a bowl and sneakily ate when no one was looking. All the food in the underworld was cold. There was no steam rising off the wontons. Moron took out the soul-calling lantern, scooped up a spoonful of wonton, and held it out toward the lantern. Does Shizun want some? Wow, I didn't even... I kind of saw that, but I just kind of ignored it. Different from Shizun's wontons. Nothing is the same as Shizun's wontons. There are 3 main varieties of wontons depending on the region. Hunton in the northern regions, e.g. Beijing. Yuntun in the southeast regions, e.g. Guangdong, Canton. This is the one being sold here. And Chaoshuo in the southwest regions, e.g. Sichuan. This is a spicy variety that Shizun makes for Moran. Sushang Peak is in Bashu, which is modern-day Sichuan. I think I mainly eat Sichuan food when it comes to Chinese food. I like spicy. Fair enough, though. Interesting. But they're all still wontons. Welcome, Zeno. Yo, what's up, Zeno? How you doing? Hope you're having a good day. No, not the wontons, but it's not Shizun's wontons. It's not as good. That butterfly story reminded me of an animation where 2 animals help grow a butterfly, only for the butterfly to be eaten by a bird. Oh, that's fucking sad, man. 2 animals didn't even get to eat the butterfly. Sichuan is tasty. It's a nice numbing spice. Having a great day. Hope you are too. You look so grown up now with your awesome new model. I thank you very much, Mama Zeno. I'm sure you're doing amazing too. How's the story coming? I hope that's going well. With that said, of course Shizun wouldn't answer.
so Moron aided himself, talking between mouthfuls. Then again, you never did care for wontons. You only like sweets. Once I find you and we get back home, I'll make you pastries every day. In the quiet of night, one person and one lantern sat by the lonely wonton store as a breeze rustled past, occasionally bringing with it a few withered leaves. In this moment, even the underworld seemed serene.
Peach blossom cake, osmanthus sweets, walnut crisp, cloud cake. Oh, this is more. I thought this was a street vendor. Fuck. It's fine. It's fine. What is cloud cake? Peach blossom cake. Oh, we've got all of them. This won't be copyright problematic. Oh. That looks fucking delicious. Yo, the garnish with the fucking flower petals? I've heard of osmanthus sweets. You son of a bitch. I will find me some osmanthus sweets. Osmanthus cake. Close enough. Oh, we have seen this one before. I think they've talked about this one before in Scum Villain. I think Lord Bin Kur made this for his Shizun at one point, and we saw a picture of this. I wanted to look it up. Walnut crisp? That looks horrible. That looks like ginger snaps. I'm sure it's probably delicious. It just looks like a plain ass cookie. Cloud cake. This is the one I'm most interested in. Oh. I have no idea what that's made of, but that looks delicious. What is that made of? Cloud cake. None of this is right. Chinese. Not quite. Those. Yeah, what are you? Japanese. That looks... That one. Visit. That's nougat? Oh, it's nougat? That makes a lot of sense, actually, now that I think about it. It looks so fluffy. It looks so soft. Cloud cake, also known as snow cake, is the traditional cake of the Jiangsu province. Its name reflects its thinness and color. It's characterized by a fine and soft texture, just like curd, and can be stored for a long time. Main ingredients are glutinous rice, sugar, lard, olives, sesame, and spices. That's fucking surprised. Fried glutinous rice flour should be stored for about half a year to soften, and the soft sugar must be the best. Fuck, that's complicated. Cloud cake is a popular offering to the moon for the Chaltsaw people during the Mid-Autumn Festival. A few days before the festival, every family buys a cloud cake, not only for themselves, but also as a gift. Many of Chinese from Chaltsaw, scattered across the world, eat cloud cakes at the eve of Mid-Autumn Festival to ease their homesickness. God, I really fucking want that now. It looks so good. So good. Sorry, where the fuck were we at? Oh no. Make your pastries, Shizun. This one. Okay, we found it. Long storage time. Yeah, it sounds like it's incredibly hard to make. Like, each of the ingredients has to be, like, the best of the best. That's terrifying. Still looks delicious, though. You can get them at your local Asian grocery store. That's like a 3-hour drive from me, unfortunately. I live in a tiny mountain town. Osmanthus sweet tastes the same as... Oh, god damn it, Seb. Anytime Osmanthus gets fucking mentioned in this stream. Osmanthus sweet tastes the same as I remember. But where is the Shizun to share the memory? Old man Zhongli. You fucking Manani got there first. Son of a bitch. Why the spiteful tone? He's being so sweet. What did I do? What did I do? That was ages ago. I got lost in sweets. I'm sorry. It's fine. It's fine. That's a lot of hydrates. Thank you. That's a lot of hydrates. Thank you. Oh, look, a distraction. Meat Bun loves to make us hungry. Considering this was supposed to be a short we haven't even finished one chapter, have we? This has been one. Wow. What is Meat Bun doing to us recently? Some of the chapters are like 6 pages long, and then some of them are like 15. Anyway. He lifted to the lantern while counting off in his fingers, as if this feels more romantic.
and sad right now. This is like peak romance. Listing out all the food you're gonna make for someone? Yeah. While counting off on his fingers as if that would make Chuan-Ning respond. He counted for a while, then forced a smile, saying, Shizun, just where is your other earth salt? Whoa, that's the wrong tone. Shizun, just where is your other earth salt? The young man reached out with his slender hand and gently caressed the silk surface of the lantern, just like he had that year when he was 30, when Chuan-Ning died, when he had held the other man's body in his arms and stared off blankly in a daze and muttered, Chuan-Ning, I really hate you so much, but then lowered his head and pressed his lips to his cheek. 1 minute. I had to get my old man voice ready. Sonny, you new here? Suddenly a voice like a broken gong spoke up. Good enough. The old man selling the wontons was terribly nearsighted in his old age and felt his way over to sit down next to Moran. He'd probably died of old age in his own bed, his darkly suntanned face wizened and lined like a poplar tree in the desert. He took out a smoking pipe from his burial clothes and put it in his mouth, then started chatting with Moran with a kindliness and nosiness unique to the elderly. It's so fucking true! They don't give a fuck at that point! Moran sniffled and turned to grin at him. First day. No wonder I don't recognize you at all. Don't mind me asking, but how did you die so young? Chi deviation. Oh. The old man inhaled smoke from his pipe, though it remained dark and unlit. A cultivator, huh? Moran nodded and glanced at him. He didn't really expect anything to come out of it, but still took out the portrait scroll from his robes, asking, Grandpa, I'm looking for someone. This is my Shizun. He also only came down here not long ago. Would you happen to have seen him? Not literally his grandpa, of course. Calling those older than you uncle, aunt, grandpa, grandma, even without blood relation is polite. Fair. We know this. He's sniffling. He wanted his Shizun to respond to him, and his Shizun can't respond to him. Shit sucks. Shit sucks. Get my old man voice ready, he says, as if this isn't a distraction from his real senior voice. Damn straight. This is my real voice. I just put on that other voice to sound young like you whippersnappers. God nabbit. Dang nabbit. Dang nabbit. It's dang nabbit, isn't it? Dang nabbit. Dang nabbit. Get off my lawn. Numbing spice isn't as hot as some spicy dishes, so it's easier to handle. You okay? I'm never okay. When your love language is food? True. True. Oh, man. Then imagine that some of her BAB chapters are like thrice this length. I don't know what it is with book 2. Book 2 has gone fucking hard. I don't remember any of the chapter 1 chapters being as long as like this one and the one 2 read-throughs ago. I think it was either like the first or the second of this second book. And we just read that one for like straight up 2 hours in a row. It was wild. Kind of cool how the dead consume the essence / memories of things inside of the things themselves. I hadn't noticed that. That's kind of terrifying. All right, boss, let's get you back to bed, you old dog. I'm not old. I'm a young man. Everyone thinks I'm sexy. Look at this big old hairy chest. I'm a sex symbol, you know. Oh man, I love your old man voice so much. It's so funny to me. I think I have a pretty good old man voice. I mean, I have a few different ones. I'm currently doing that one, which is more of like a tired, like a younger old man who's trying to be lively. And then I have like, well, fuck. I can't remember the other old man voice where it's just like, oh yes, oh there we go. There's the wise old man kind of wizard voice. You may call me Gandalf. Did you put your name in the goblet, Harry Potter? Yes. Sorry. I forget. That's still so fucking funny to me. In the novel, it's literally, did you put your name in the goblet, Harry Potter? Not Gandalf. Dumbledore asked, worried, quietly. Like, they give it such a nice, like,
oh, he's worried about Harry. He's concerned. And then in the movie, they were just like, you son of a bitch! You did it, didn't you? Dumbledore said calmly, thank you, Ice Claw. That shit's fucking wild. It's not Gandalf. They're all the same. They're all the same, man. All them old wizard men. Gandalf, Saruman, Voldemort. Yeah, I'll go with... No, Voldemort. Voldemort's a bit different.
Harry. Come to me, Harry.
Avada Kedavra! He has that kind of voice too, actually. And yet you come to die. Yeah, shit, fuck. I can do it with Voldemort. What the fuck? Same man, different font. Yeah. You hit max level, you stop leveling. It just happens. In the movie, he's songed like Harry didn't fuck up all 18 generations. Sounds, I'm guessing. Like Harry just fucked all 18 generations of his ancestors and then killed his mom. Fuck, Manani. You're not wrong. He sounds very pissed. For the Raiders still with us, welcome to the House of Copperhounds in its entirety. I'm sure they left by now. But man, yeah, this is peak Copperhound territory. We go from horny to stupid to sad, and then we're just like, oh shit, I could do that voice. We get distracted for like 10 minutes in a row, and it's like, oh, that's why it takes 2 hours to read one chapter. Whoops. Leave my awful spelling alone. It's fine. It's just funny to me. It took me a while to figure out what word that was. Back to the story then, sir. If we must. The grandpa took the drawing and hunched over closer to the light, squinting at it for a long, long while through cataract-grown eyes. Good, that's just a lot of hydrates. I just realized a lot of things were popping up on the activity feed. It's just hydrates. Moron let out a sigh and reached over to take the drawing back. It's all right. I've already asked lots of people. It's okay if you don't know either. Everyone else also. I've seen him. Moron jolted, and even the blood in his veins coursed faster as he clutched hastily at the old man. Grandpa, you've seen him? You're sure? I'm sure. The old man crossed his legs on the bench and reached over to pick up his foot. Don't see people with looks like these every day. It's definitely your Shizun. Moron had already shot up to his feet, but then felt like he was being too curt and lowered his head in a respectful bow to the old man before looking up to ask earnestly. Grandpa, please point the way. No need to be so polite, sonny. We're all just ghosts down here about to head on to the next life, with only 8-10 years before these memories of the lost life are gone for good. This old man's son passed on early, so I've got a soft spot for all you young'uns. He wiped the tears from his eyes and blew his nose on his sleeve before finally saying, Have you seen that grand-looking palace on the first street up there? I have. That's where Shizun is? Yep, right there. What kind of place is it? Aw, fuck. It's the 4th Ghost King's away palace. The old man sighed. The 4th Ghost King doesn't actually live there. It was built specifically to lock up all the beauties he has his underlings snatch from the underworld. That 4th Ghost King is a real lecher. Comes down here at intervals to... Oh, someone's about to die. You know what? You know fucking what? There we go. Comes down here at intervals to pick concubines from the away palace, men and women alike. The ones that get selected are brought with him back to the 4th level of hell. The ones that don't supposedly get given to his underlings to play with. Oh, the world these days. Murder is okay. Moron is about to kill a fucking Ghost King and a whole bunch of underlings. It's just as you said. Yeah, it's a different Ghost King though, right? The 4th Ghost King is a different one. I think. I might be wrong. I don't know. Shizun was too sexy. They're gonna fuck him to death. That's Moron's job, damn it. He said he wanted to fuck him to death. There's no way the 4th Ghost King is gonna let Shizun go, so. Oh no. It's different. Yeah, I figured it was a different Ghost King. Oh man, finally made a stream and I'm behind so I can listen. Have a great time. Aw, have a good time, Damon Arts. Sorry you couldn't join us. Imagine if the old man had pointed Moron right back to Chushun. Yeah, I know him. That's Chushun. He's a great guy. Ghosts can cry. I don't see why they wouldn't be able to. They don't really... They don't have a heartbeat, so they probably don't have blood, so they probably don't have bodily fluids, actually, now that I think about it. Like, they fake eat and fake drink. So they probably can't cry, but Moron can cry. Moron ain't a ghost. So they drink the soup after those years. Yeah, they keep their memories until they're ready to reincarnate, and then they drink the soup, and boom! They're ready to reincarnate without none of their mummies. Chuan Ning has concubine vibes, apparently. But the old man wiped at his tears. No? Did I misunderstand? I thought it said Moron sniffled. I don't remember. I believe you if you say so. It might have also been I read it wrong. Damn, on the good part too. Gotta go get food. Hubby's saying he's starving. Have a good one, Wine Life and Gave a Wife. Thank you for joining us while you could. San Long definitely had bodily fluid. Different ghost. Wow. Hua Chung, San Long, also different type of ghost. San Long is a ghost with the body, if that makes sense. There's different words for these things. This is different types of ghosts. Chu Fei will always be Chu Fei. The question is, whose Chu Fei is he? He's just a maiden, man. He's just a maiden in a tower being captured by different fuckers who want to rape him. I believe you, if you say so. We don't believe in say so. There is no say so. Hua Chung is a class of his own. Yeah, I'm sure the Ghost King can cry too. Hua Chung can do whatever he wants. He needs his bodily fluids. They have uses. I love the old man just straight up being like, oh yeah, he just captures people. Fucks them. Shit happens, man. World's crazy. What are you gonna do? He wasn't even done talking yet when the little cultivator next to him tucked the lantern sitting to the side into his arms in an anxious rush and charged off into the night like a wolf dog. The old man paused for a second, then muttered slowly like a dash of envy. Must be nice to be young, be able to run so fast. Oh, fuck! No! No! Oh, I guess I kind of want to read it. How long is it? If it's less than 8 pages. If it's less than 8 pages, we read it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it's just 8. It's just 8. Okay. Okay. We might get banned from Twitch for this. Content warning. Rape violence, but it's not being shown, and therefore it does not break Twitch guidelines. You can talk about fucked up things, you just can't show fucked up things. Therefore, I'm going to export this video immediately because we may still get in trouble for this. But it's fine. Chapter 111. Shizun is like a blade. You're like water. That's terrifying. He cuts through it. Oh. He cuts through, but then immediately gets surrounded. Interesting. Rape warning and violence? Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Tell not show. It's fine. Generally don't remember how graphic this gets. You might be pretty good. What's the worst that happens? We get banned on Twitch. We were only going to be here for 2 more days. Oh, man. The 4th Ghost King's away palace had only one entrance, and there were guards stationed outside. Of course, Moran wasn't so dumb as to saunter in the front door. He vaulted up onto the roof, tucked the soul-calling lantern into his Chiang Kun pouch so that the light wouldn't draw any unnecessary attention, then flitted across the tiled rooftops, swift as a bolt of black lightning. Twitch, you're not allowed to do that. Cool. Well, technically... technically, they banned things being shown. I mean, people played fucking The Last of Us 2 on Twitch. That had graphic shit. The away palace was already grand looking from the outside, but the inside was even more massive. One courtyard after another full of winding corridors. Moran leapt to the top of a tall building and flattened himself against the dark brown tiles of the roof. Looking down from there, the away palace was like a small town that stretched out beyond where the eye could see. Moran was exceedingly anxious.
Now he knew why that man from before wouldn't tell him where Shizun had gone. He was probably afraid of ticking off the Ghost King. But even knowing that Chu Wanning was here in this palace now, he still had no idea what to do. There are at least 900 rooms here, if not 1,000. Where could Chu Wanning be? He's gonna be in the bedroom. He's definitely gonna be in the bedroom. I don't think it gets too bad. It might just be a mention. I wouldn't be surprised, like, please don't spoil me on this. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not about Chu Wanning. If it's about, like, other people being found. I hope they haven't touched Chu Wanning yet. I really don't want them to cuck my boy Mora. I really don't want them to hurt my boy Shizun! Fuck! This turns out to be our last stream. We're going out with a bang. Literally. Hello, Duduzieras. I also don't remember there being a full scene here, so no need to fear. It's all good. There's more than one bedroom. Fuck. You're not wrong. This thing seems to be mostly bedrooms. Remember, if you're sensitive to these kinds of topics, by all means, take care of yourself. Exactly. That's why the warnings are there. If you can't be around for this live, if you can't be around for this in general, ditch out. It's all good. We'll catch you next time. What if there are multiple bedrooms? Is there part of him in each one then? Like multiplying into even more souls? I hope not. 2 souls is enough. I'm still hoping this is Chu Fei. I'm hoping this is original timeline Chu Fei. Oh wait, no. What was our theory the last time? The Moron soul had kind of warped it. Yeah, that Tashi and Jun had managed to infect Chu Wanning somehow. Nah, that doesn't make as much sense. I prefer it just being Chu Fei. He was like a person on the cusp of finding a treasure. Both his hands and heart alike tremoring even more than before. Shizun, where are you? He was absorbed in his thoughts when he noticed a row of people holding red lanterns stop around a corner. All of them decked out in golden armor and battle boots. One by one, they walked from the east gate to the main walkway, and then, many convoluted turns and bends later, arrived at an unremarkable side room. A massive old pagoda tree stood in front of that side room, neatly blocking off Moran's line of sight. Yeah. You could only see half of the courtyard, the other half hidden behind the lush foliage. The ghostly soldiers went inside, and there was shouting and the sound of tables and chairs being knocked around. Utter chaos. Then, a frightened scream pierced abruptly through the sky as a disheveled woman was dragged out and tossed into the courtyard, her half-undone clothes slipping further in the rough manhandling and exposing large expanses of snowy skin. Trying to run? Trying to fucking run? A whip landed viciously on the woman's body. It was probably a punishment tool of the underworld, able to inflict searing, unbearable agony even on ghosts. The woman huddled on the ground, trembling. She looked like she wanted to run, but there were soldiers everywhere and nowhere to run to. Fucking bitch. You think you could just leave the Fourth King's palace? I lived a virtuous life. I did nothing wrong. Why are you people doing this to me? The woman shrieked. Let me go. I want to reincarnate. I don't want to stay here. Oh, fuck. I just realized that shit. They straight up said if he likes them enough, he fucking takes them to the 4th level of hell. And if he doesn't like them enough, his soul just play with them. There is no part of escape in this. It's just 100% either you get raped by the gods or you get taken to the 4th level of hell just because they're beautiful. Where the fuck are the gods at this point? Why are they letting the 4th Ghost King do this shit and just take human souls willy-nilly? Fuck, that's fucked up. Anyway. I hate people. We all hate people. What gods? You know, Lan Yuan? Whatever they called him. The person who rules the underworld in Chinese mythology. Are there gods in this universe? I mean, celestials, immortals, gods, demons, dragons, spirits. This is not the heavenly capital, but you'd think surely they'd try to keep these fuckers in line. I don't actually know about the underworld in China. Like, a lot of this has been completely new to me.
I've never really heard any of the stories about people like going through the underworld other than like that tiny bit of Gujien 3 and Gujien Online. In both of which, yeah, you use a lantern to keep yourself alive while walking through it. Interesting. Let's just try and push through this. Yes. Yan Luo, I think that's his name. They keep talking about him as if he's like the ruler. She wailed as the lashes came down again. Serving the fourth king frees you from having to suffer the cycle of reincarnation. You sure don't know what's good for you. He didn't even pick me. Why won't you let me leave? Another lash, this time on her face. The woman started weeping, trembling uncontrollably, but still tried to crawl away. Her animalistic desperation only seemed to amuse the fourth Ghost King's soldiers, all of them laughing boisterously. One after another, more tributes were dragged out from the side room. The leader of the soldiers spoke. Everyone's worked hard, and I know how bored you guys get. These are all the fourth king's leftovers. Go ahead and pick whichever ones you like to play with. And if any strikes your fancy in particular, just come register with me and you can bring them home with ya. Those lecherous ghosts howled and laughed with abandon as they went into the room to pick the prettiest goods. The woman outside wasn't spared either, boxed in by several people right there under the tree. They lunged at her like a pack of starving wolves, intent on ripping her soul to pieces. From inside the room came the sounds of rough breathing and obscene words. There were people crying, screaming, begging. There were also those who couldn't handle the torment and wanted out, who submitted to everything and did all they could to earn favor. In the underworld, as in the living world, people all had the same ugliness. Moran jumped nimbly off the tall building onto the roof of the side chamber, hiding himself there under the cover of night. Based on what the grandpa at the wonton store had told him, Chuan-Ning just got here and shouldn't have gone through the Ghost King selection process yet. So he shouldn't be here. But Moran was still worried. So he lifted a piece of the dark brown roof tiles halfway up and stealthily peeked through the gap. The room smelled of sex, hot and heavy, and in that mess of debauchery he saw a face. Rongjio? The rent boy he had been fond of in his last life, but who had been used his fondness to scheme against him and try to steal his cultivation. He was in there as well. What? When did he die? Rongjio died? Moran had his fight with him? Oh shit! Yeah, he did die. Our man showed up. The man who was kind of in love with Rongjio showed up and accused Moran of it. I fucking forgot about that. And he gave 0 fucks. Oh, man. Well, it's your time to do some comeuppance and find out who the fuck killed him. Oh, yo. I remember this chapter now, sob. I've forgotten about this from my mental health. Yeah, this is bad. The gods are wielding the power of one of the kings of the underworld, so who can correct them? Yeah. A lot of the Chinese heavenly court is modeled after the Chinese imperial court, so can't expect any help for the powerless. This is hell with multiple ghost kings in power. I thought it was just an underworld. I guess, yeah, there's a heavenly capital. But everybody goes there to get reincarnated. That's fucked up, man. The rich guy accused Moran of killing him. Yeah, I remember now. It took me a minute. I was like, wait, Rongjio's dead? Oh, yeah, no, they tried to blame that on Moran. I did remember. It took me a minute. Man. He was a clever thing who knew death as well as he knew life. Many people in the room were struggling, not wanting to give in. In that hazy chaos, some called out the names of their lovers in life, while others cursed and fought for their dignity. But Rongjio was different. Moran knew what this person was like. He loved money and he loved his life. Of course, he no longer had a life to love, but he still valued his soul and didn't want to suffer. On that wide, messy bed, the other unpicked tributes around him were all struggling and begging. Only Rongjio had his eyes closed, mewling softly like a kitten while letting the soldiers manhandle him without complaint. Looking at his face flushed with arousal, Moran felt a chill in his heart. He thought of Chuan-Ning. Rongjio was soft and pliant. Chuan-Ning was firm as steel. Cold and hard as black iron at first glance, unbending and unyielding. But in a situation like this, Rongjio would flatter and fawn to seek flavor.
would lie back and use his softness to build himself an invulnerable fortress. As for Chu Wan-ning, Moron didn't even have to think about it to know what that person would do. He'd sooner scatter his soul and fall into the 18th level of hell than allow someone to touch him. Running water never breaks. Only steel blades do. Bang! The sudden noise startled the people in the room as well as the one on the roof. Moron raised his head to look towards the courtyard, his face blanching. Choo-choo. I know, Choo-choo's so fucking cute. Choo-choo Wan-ning. Rong Jiao was a whore in life, so he knows how to manipulate the situation. Yeah. He's been through a lot of bad shit in life. And he's kind of used to this. And now I get the whole, like, Shizun... What did they say? This chapter title. Shizun is like a blade, you are like water. Fuck, so that was about Rong Jiao. I thought that was about... I guess it's not about Moron. These are read as if Moron wrote them. God damn. I'd say Shimei's like... Well, Shimei's literally a water element. Is it bad that I want to laugh? Kinda. This is real fucked up, man. Rong Jiao is just doing what he can to survive and not get hurt anymore. It sucks that he has to continue this even in death, but good on him for being so smart. Yeah. He's making the best out of a fucking horrific situation. Laughing because of nerves. That I do a lot. I know that feeling a lot. I laugh when I'm uncomfortable because it kind of like breaks the tension. You're like, I'm late again. Solar G8 Keeper, just so you're aware, if you just showed up, we are reading a chapter which has the trigger warnings, rape and violence. If you're not up for that, definitely ditch out and come back some other time. It's getting dark. But thank you for being here. I hope you're having a good time. Is the same Rong Jiao here than in life? Is it karma or just bad luck? I don't know that Rong Jiao. Is that his name? I mean, I know that's not how it's written. That's how I read it. Rong Jiao. Yeah. I don't know that he necessarily did anything that bad in life. I mean, it was Moron who robbed him. That was all true. He did things bad in his last life, but in this current life, he hasn't betrayed Ta Xianjun yet. Ta Xianjun doesn't exist yet, so... Ugh. The woman from before, who was fierce as an inferno, had been pierced right through the chest by one of the soldiers. Her soul gradually became transparent as tears welled past her eyes. Then everything froze for a second, before dissolving into countless specks. Her soul had scattered. The soldier who had destroyed her soul cursed as he stood up. There was a lash mark on his face. The woman had probably wrested his ghost suppression whip and struck him with it. The soldier spat. What a fucking wench! Already a ghost and still so damn prissy. Bah! Stupid bitch. Moron felt like he had fallen into an icy cave. It was as if the one he saw just now wasn't that unfamiliar woman, but the choice that Chu Wan-ning would have picked. Rong Jiao was still tumbling in bed with those lecherous ghosts. It was a skill he had honed for survival, attaching himself to someone stronger like climbing vines, engulfing them with his softness like a trap. One by one, the tributes in the room submitted, the stench of sex nauseatingly heavy. He didn't know how long had passed before the curtain finally fell on the lurid spectacle. Rong Jiao really did know how to charm people. One of the soldiers pulled on his clothing and then immediately went to do the registration with his leader. All that was left now was to have the fourth king look it over, and he'll be free to bring him home. These ghost soldiers were subordinates to the fourth king, and were exempt from the cycle of reincarnation. Although not quite as good as following the fourth king himself, following these guys would still get him a fairly comfortable life without humiliation. Rong Jiao was quite content with that. I fucking hate this life, man. This underworld is like being in jail. Like Rong Jiao is like straight up being raped and he's just like, okay, I'll become your prison bitch. You aren't gonna leave. It's basically like attaching yourself to one of the most fucked up lifers. Because that way nobody else is gonna fuck with you. It's better than being left in the whorehouse with just all of the other ghosts just playing with you and then leaving you there for the next one. Fuck. And now she can't reincarnate? Yeah, that woman...
is just straight up dead. The ghosts can die here and they're just gone. No reincarnation, soul just destroyed for nothing. He was going to steal Moran's cultivation, but was he going to do that in this timeline? He did in the other timeline. But I don't know. I don't remember exactly how it was supposed to happen. I don't know how long he was supposed to have been planning that for. I don't remember. I really don't think he does. They scattered her soul. Best not to look deep this time. Yeah, this is fucked. The soldier who wanted to bring him home flirted with him for a while longer before he had to leave for guard duty. The group of friends walked away into the distance, leaving the side room in disarray, dreary and cheerless like the aftermath of a feast. Leftover wine and sentiment spilt all over the floor, growing cold. He sat up lazily, the least bothered of the group despite being a man. He dressed and groomed himself, and then looking into the copper mirror, felt that his face looked much too pallid in death compared to the rosy glow he had in life, and didn't complement his coquettish gazes. So ignoring those sobbing, dazed, trembling women, Rongjio cheerily straightened out his clothes, put on a pair of silk shoes, and strolled into the courtyard. I've got to fucking give it to him, man. Rongjio putting up a fight in this horrible situation. Like, everybody else is so broken by it. And he's like, you know what? I'm getting taken away by a man who will probably take care of me pretty good. It's fucked. It's fucked that he has to do that, but he's making the best out of it. He's surviving, which is interesting why the chapter title is like, Shizun is a steel knife, your water. It's true. A lot of the greatest people, I think it was actually. It's something from Tai Chi. It might have been from Sun Tzu. It was definitely Bruce Lee. Be as water. Like, let things flow over you. Don't let them control you. You don't have to cut through everything. You can just flow around it. Be loosey-goosey. Do what you have to. That's what it's saying about Rongjio. I think also subtly about Shimei. Because again, Shimei, water element, already looked a lot like Rongjio. I think they're trying to tell us a bit about Shimei too. Oh, he's not exactly fighting. He's more like accepting his position. Yeah. It's basically, oh, well, this is my life now, so what can I do to make it better? The other people there are just crying their eyes out and being victims. Rongjio is taking the best control of the situation he can, even though it's a fucking shitty situation. Is the water a pun? I hope not. That sounds bad. He's good at adapting? Yeah, so was fucking Moran. Moran, when he was a child living on the streets, had to go through hell. Had to do what he could to survive. I know they're going to go back to Moran's past at some point, and it's going to get worse. Because he hasn't even lost his fucking mother yet. Yeah. Hell had primula flowers as well, of an even deeper red than those found in the world of the living. He picked an umbral of the flowers, dipping the tip of a slim finger into the sap to paint his lips and blush his cheeks. Everyone had their own priorities. Rongjio had led a difficult life since birth. In his eyes, only the well-off, who were high above the rest and didn't have to worry about going hungry, had the leisure to chase after things like friendship. He was just some dirty thing in the mud. He couldn't afford to care about integrity and honor and whatnot. All he had was his life, and now that that was gone, all he had was his soul. Fucking, oh man, they make him sound so strong. Gotta respect it. There was a slight rustling sound from behind, like someone had touched the flowers. He thought the soldier that took a liking to him had doubled back, so he filled his gaze with a generous serving of affection. Everything cost money. Only affections were free. He cast a coy glance back, looking exceedingly beautiful and charming, indistinguishable between male and female. But when he saw who it was standing coldly next to the flowering plant, Rongjio recoiled back a step with his eyes wide open and lips slightly parted, like he'd been struck by lightning. "You..." "Me," Moran said. Rongjio's soft, pretty face flashed through a wild array of expressions. Shock, hesitation, gloating, anger, apprehension, feigned nonchalance, and in the end, settled on a cold, detached expression. He was too used to wearing a smile. Those overtly intense and ferocious expressions felt heavy on his face. He didn't like carrying them.
Fancy seeing you here, Mo Gongzu. The two of them had parted on terrible terms the last time they met. Rongjio stood up straight and put on an air of indifference. Moran said, I'm looking for someone. Oh, man. Wait, I didn't refollow Q after locking myself out of my old account. What's up, it's sweet Kiwi? Thank you so much for following. Welcome back to the House of Copper Hounds. It's lovely to have you here. Sorry you locked yourself out of the old account. I hope you didn't miss too many streams. But welcome back. We're in the middle of a very fucked up chapter. Careful warning about that. Trigger warnings are rape and violence. I hope we're done with the rape now. Fuck. At least, yeah, it wasn't graphic. That's one thing you got to give to Moran. The graphic ones seem to all be on our poor boy Chuan Ning. The rest of it is just kind of like, yeah, she doesn't want to go into it too much when it comes to other people. It's just like, hey, it happened. It's terrible. Here's the reaction to it, which, good. Because, yeah, you don't need to see the thing. The reaction to it is enough to get across. Oh, God, it fucking sucks. Oh, man. I'm sorry I'm going to sleep. Can't handle sensitive topics because of my tics. Oh, it's good. Yeah, no, that's why I wanted to warn you when you immediately showed up. Yeah. We're in the middle of a very fucked up chapter. So, yeah. Have a good night. Take care. We're going to keep reading and hopefully you can catch us up next time. But yeah, nobody has to be here if, yeah, they don't want to be reading something like this. Rongjio seemed to scoff. Who would have thought that a philanderer like Mo Gongzu would be so attached to someone even in death? Moran didn't feel like wasting breath with him. He simply took out the drawing scroll and handed it to Rongjio, asking, Have you seen him? Rongjio gave the drawing a quick glance and sneered. Average looking. Which whorehouse is he from? Moran frowned and sighed. What do you mean, whorehouse? Just tell me if you've seen him. Nope, Rongjio said indifferently. Couldn't tell you even if I have. I'm tired now. Gonna go get some rest. Please see yourself out and go back wherever you came from. Moran called out to him. Rongjio! The slim figure paused, and the pretty face turned a bit, wearing a smug expression. Yes. I'm going to rescue him. If you want, I'll rescue you too. This place is ruthless. Surely you don't mean to actually hang around with those soldiers, Moran said. Go reincarnate. Turning more, Rongjio spoke sweetly. Such words. Mo Gongzu. Sure, this place may be ruthless, but what place isn't? Rongjio lived a difficult 20 years out there, and honestly, it's not much different down here. Only my patrons are now ghosts instead of people. What does it matter if I reincarnate or not? You'd be living under a knife here. Rongjio burst out laughing. He pulled himself together, still laughing as he glanced Moran over. When have I not lived under a knife? People are knives. I'm just the meat on their chopping block. If I'm lucky and get something nice, maybe they'll pay me a little more. But if I get something extra nice like Mo Gongzu, not getting paid is the least of it. With the way you stole from me and then turned around and pretended you didn't even know me? Mo Gongzu, first you stab me, then you tell me to be careful of knives. How very kind of you. Yeah. Rongjio's an interesting character. Poor boy. This is the thing. Rongjio, Moran could have ended up that way. Moran's mother was already kind of that way, dealing not that far, thankfully, that we know of. But was already that kind of level where she'd already accepted that life was like this. That life sucked. She was just doing whatever she could to get by. She had accepted the fact that she was a poor, penniless woman on the street and just doing whatever she could to survive. Rongjio, same kind of thing. Always had a bad life. Didn't want to be on the street anymore. Found a way to make money and to do it well, even though there was every chance of him being murdered by someone at some point. He was going to steal his cultivation. The hypocrisy! I mean, you're not wrong. Would Moran have done the same? What is up with my model? Why was it shaking its head so much? Yeah. Keep in mind, in this timeline, he didn't do that.
In this timeline, as far as he knows, Moron just suddenly decided he was bored with him. It's just strengthened his resolve at this point. Wrongjaw has already lived a fuck-up life, managed to get Moron, somebody who was the kind of like junior baby, not quite baby, disciple of Sushang Peak, and thought, oh, life will be easy now. At this point, we don't know if he was plotting to steal his cultivation. He was definitely going to do it eventually. That's definitely what he did in the last timeline. That is something he did. But in this timeline, as far as we know, all that happened is that Wrongjaw was latching onto Moron, trying to find his own happiness, trying to find his own strength, trying to find his own way in the world. And then just one day, Moron woke up, robbed him, and pretended he didn't know him and got him kicked off the peak looking like a fucking nobody. Embarrassing himself and telling everybody, I'd never sleep with that. Pretty horrific. Pretty fucking horrific. Plus he got incited by a man he probably loved. Yeah, the dude, the rich dude who was trying to use him. Wrongjaw never claimed to be a good person. He did all he had to get by. Not a good person, but I don't hate him. I don't hate him. I don't like him. I kind of respect him. I can't not respect him. The fact that he's survived as much as he has. Fair enough. The fact that he does eventually try to go on and steal Moron's cultivation. Fucked up. Especially since in that timeline, Moron seems to have actually liked, or maybe he knew. Maybe even in that timeline, he knew it was all about Shimei by that point. I don't know, man. I don't know. Nobody's good or bad. Everybody is just shades of grey. The heart's coming out of Koo's titty. Yeah, we've aimed that really well. Thank you, Nini Nuno, for the 500 merits. That's so sweet of you. Even if he was planning to rob Moron, stealing is not right in any way. And that's the thing. We don't know if he was planning it in this timeline or not. Moron had other knowledge. We don't know what led Wrongjaw to that in the past life either. We don't know if the Moron in that timeline had by that point already lost Shimei and was already starting to do some pretty dark shit. And so Wrongjaw was just doing what he could to like survive at that point. That definitely isn't a spoiler though. Like that was definitely, when we first meet, it was literally chapter 2. Moron had talked about what Wrongjaw had done to him in the past life. And he almost, like he stopped himself. He came very close to giving him a massive like scar on his face to make sure that he'd never be able to make money with his body again. Like he literally, I think it was a piece of pottery, it might have been a knife, like had it against the skin of his face and then held himself back, like said, no, I don't need to do that anymore. This is before all the darkness. He came very close to absolutely destroying his life. Moron literally stole from a guy who hadn't done anything yet, only because he did something in a different future. Yeah, in his mind, in the current Wrongjaw's mind, it just steadied everything even more in his mind. That he hated fucking rich kids, was most certainly using Moron. Did not have feelings for Moron, it's just Moron favored him and had money. Could pay to sleep with him and made him feel more safe, have more money and be able to afford better things and not be out on the street. He was using him, but he wasn't doing anything too bad at that point. Anyway, it's complicated. It's complicated. We got through 2 chapters. We did. First one was incredibly long. How many of these... author's notes. Sorry. Today's Weibo has the adorable Inkstone's dog teasing the big white cat illustration. It hits where it's cute. A face full of blood. There's also the adorable Shanghua stabbing Meat Bun with a sword. Dog misses his mother illustration. It makes me cry. Fuck. I feel like I got stabbed. The content below is not written by me, it's written by Shanghua stabbing Meat Bun with a sword. I've typed the words on the illustration here at the service of those who do going to Weibo is inconvenient for. So this is actually, yeah. We'll skip over this then. This is like a little bit of fan fiction that was actually on fan art. God damn it, this is god level knifery. I fucking love that. In Meat Bun's author notes, she was just straight up like, yo, this is fucking cute. This fan art right here, this even made me feel bad. This hurt me. Damn. Well played. Well played. That the author herself can be like, oh no, you broke my spirit a little bit. Thanks. Got a little bit of revenge there. Where am I? There we go. But yeah, with that said, this is where we're going to stop this read through. If I remember correctly, in the past life, Moron met Rongjiao before Moron was full-blown supervillain mode. Yeah, in both ones. Like, that's why in this timeline, he woke up, his, like, return to this timeline, he woke up in Rongjiao's bed. In this timeline, he'd already been sleeping with Rongjiao. Rongjiao knew him as just a rich kid. That's what I mean, though. It's the same way that when Moron on the streets would see rich kids, he wouldn't... he started to hate them. The way he did when his mother was telling him, no, don't be a bad person, don't stoop to their level, you have to be good, you have to be kind. If you've only gotten, like, bad memories from rich people, trying to make you dance above a bunch of knives, or trying to make you do other things for money to get by, fucked up, man. Eventually you stop thinking of them as people. To Rongjiao, Moron was just a source of money, just something to latch onto and use. That doesn't mean he deserves death. When he tried to steal his cultivation, yeah, fair. Fair to feel betrayed, fair to get pissed off, fair to get revenge. But the Rongjiao in this timeline, just one day, the rich kid he was sleeping with to try and get money just decided, oh, I'm bored with you now. Robbed him, the one thing that he had, the money that he had saved so much for. And he was already a rich kid. He was the fucking little junior from Sushang Peak. Daughter of the fucking... that would piss me off. And then he climbed up that peak just to get back what he had. And nobody would even listen to him. Except for Meng Meng, who was just outraged by the whole thing. But everybody else was just like, get the fuck off the peak, you dirty fucking man whore. Nobody would listen to Rongjiao, even though he had been robbed. Even though Moron had taken the little thing that he had in his life. I think there's an author note later. Yeah, but I don't see the point in reading it. Because it talks about the artwork, which we can't see. Like, yeah, this bit is all about Moron's life, but... Oh, okay. Yeah, no, this actually does seem interesting. It's all about him and his mother and how he reacts. When Dog was younger, he had once set his heart on being someone who did not bear grudges or hatred, who would build houses for all the homeless of the world. But it was also this person who became a demon whose hands were permanently stained with bloodshed and sins that he could no longer walk away. Walk away? Wash away! If Dog's mother had still not reincarnated and knew of this in the underworld, she must be very sad. As for him looking pitiful in yesterday's update, actually he isn't that pitiful, because those were the best days of his 15 years of life. He already said so at the beginning of his recollection. Back then, he at least still had his mother. I fucking forgot about that. Oh man, right back on the early chapters. He talked about how the happiest memories of his life were while he was out on the streets. Even though they were terrible, he had his mom. And then he lost his mom and everything started to go back. Moron's a complicated character. Because you'd think his happiest memories would be at Sushang Peak. But by that point, as Tashi Jun, everything was poisoned. All the happy memories with Meng Meng, with Shizun, with Shimei, were gone. With his uncle. Because Meng Meng was now his enemy. His Shizun had become his mortal enemy, who he then ended up killing. And he'd let Shimei die. So none of those past memories that were good suddenly had any meaning anymore. In his mind as Tashi Jun, the only happy memories in his life were with his mother before anything else happened. Fuck. Afterwards, he no longer had his mother. Actually, you don't have to intentionally categorize actions as right or wrong, or people as good and evil. Some good people will turn evil, and others will crawl from hell back to humanity. A character will have aspects worthy of liking, aspects worthy of hate, aspects worthy of pity. Only then can they be realistic. A world can only be complete if there are mistakes, regrets, injustice, and justice. If a story only contains good characters of the same mold, and a single word view without emotional conflict or opposing characters and moralities, where the theme song is The Spring Winds of Ruhr, oh, we're not going with that. There is a universal joy, where everyone is honest and trustworthy, where I'll stay by the roadside for a whole year waiting for the owner of the 50-cent coin I found to return and claim it. You might as well turn on the television at 7:30 to watch the very long-running serial drama Xin Wen Lian Bo, for satisfaction guaranteed. I just realized I didn't have the screen shown that whole time. I'm sorry, I read through that whole thing by myself. But yeah, Meat Bun said it as well. Meat Bun's just straight up like, why would you want all the good characters to just be pure good? Moron did great evil. Why would you want all the bad characters to just be pure bad? Rong Jill had a bad life and was struggling to survive. Everybody is shades of gray. If you just make all the good guys just pure good and all the bad guys just pure bad, it's a fucking shitty story. It's just the good has to win over bad, otherwise it's boring, it's bad, it's sad. I love Meat Bun's world building philosophy. Yeah, it's great. That's what makes, she's right. That's what makes the characters feel so real. Because we all have that. No matter who you are, you probably think of yourself as a decent person. Whether you think of yourself as a good person or just decent. I don't think there's anybody who thinks themselves as a bad person. And even if they do what Moran did as Ta Xian Jun, where it's like, yeah, I'm bad, but it's because other people made me bad. It's because of all the people that hurt me when I was young. I don't tip people because I once worked as a delivery driver and nobody tipped me. I don't help people that are feeling bad because when I was feeling bad, nobody helped pick me up. You have to get yourself up by your bootstraps. It's shit like that. If Rong Jiao had managed to steal his cultivation in the first life, maybe all the destruction Ta Xian Jun caused wouldn't have happened. That's also true, Shen Qingqiu's fan. Would have been a lot better for the world at large. Not good, but who knows? Maybe Rong Jiao would have stolen Moran's cultivation and been such an impressive cultivator. So desperate to get more power, more respect, that he would have been even worse than Ta Xian Jun. We don't know. He was happy while hungry and in the dirt, because he had his mommy. To add insult to injury, Moran brutally railed him before robbing him. I did forget about that too. Fuck, I need to go back and read that chapter. After this chapter, that's so much more powerful. Because at that point, it was like, yeah, Moran was being very violent with him, but Rong Jiao seemed like he kind of enjoyed it. And it was like, I get it. I'm into some kinky shit. As long as you have a safe word, that's good. But now knowing everything we know about Rong Jiao, dude was probably in an incredible amount of pain, but it was just, I can't say anything bad. I can't say I don't love this. I have to pretend I love it to keep him ingratiated to me. Fuck. And then he robbed him and pretended he didn't know him. Fuck. With that said, I think that's where no, not that. That's the wrong thing. I think that's where we're gonna end this reaction. Read through video. Yeah. Babbling Bookworm, thank you so much for the 80 merits. Stoffel, thank you so much for the 90 merits. That's very sweet of you. Sorry, I did see those, but I was like mentally working my way through. Oh, that's why I love you guys always reminding me things. Man, you go back to previous chapters and you're like, oh shit, that has so much more meaning. Oh no. Yuna, thank you so much for following. Welcome to the House of Copperhounds, and I hope you enjoy your stay, even though we're disappearing now. With that said, thank you for the hydrate, Zeno. Everyone have a lovely night. I hope you enjoyed this, even though it was a very dark chapter. Pure pain in the first chapter. A lot of suffering in the second chapter. Man. It's more painful the second time. Meat Bun is crazy. I love her writing. Meat Bun's incredible. Only hurts more and makes more sense with each reread. Yeah. This and the auction scene are probably the hardest parts of the story to swallow. Really? The bits with Chu Ning have been breaking me pretty hard. Like, the bit with the auction was horrific. This one, you gotta feel bad for it, but at least they kind of... The auction scene, they drew a lot of attention to her and how sad she was and how fucked up the whole situation was. In this one, at least, it kind of focuses you on Rong Jiao and the woman that gets stabbed. It's just over a lot faster than the auction scene, at least. Oh, it's so disgusting. I'd imagine none of this is going to go into the drama. I would imagine. But with that said, thank you for joining me. I hope you have a lovely day. 2 days left. Yeah. We'll try to stream tomorrow. Is tomorrow Sunday? Tomorrow's Sunday. We might get a stream off on Monday. I'm not sure if it's Monday I have to disappear or Tuesday. One of the two. But yeah. I will post on Twitter that I'm disappearing. Don't worry. Because you'll have to follow my other Twitter if you want to keep up with shit that I'm doing. And yes, we can raid Minimancer. She is still streaming. Awesome. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you had a lovely time. We will be back hopefully tomorrow if everything goes right. And I will see you guys next time. For me, it's still the monkey people. Oh, the children from like chapter 2? That's still fucking with me. But I hope they'll come back to that at some point. Don't know how my brain works. I just know what messed me up the most. Fair. I miss this stream so much. Good luck with you new. Thank you, Sky Azor. Have a lovely evening. Thank you so much for the 20 merits. I'll see you guys next time.